Notre Dame de Paris has been more than just a stunning church for more than 850 years. It's a symbol that has a long history and cultural significance in France. This architectural wonder, which is situated on the Ile de la Cité in the heart of Paris, has seen centuries of ups and downs, making it a well-loved monument throughout the world. You can see how history is preserved within its walls when you look at it. Let's now stand back and examine the construction of Notre Dame's past. Under King Louis VII, the Gothic era saw the start of Notre Dame construction in 1163. The construction was completed in 1345, making the construction period about 182 years. With its impressive facade, intricate flying buttresses, and stunning stained glass windows, the cathedral showcased the architectural brilliance of its time. One cannot imagine that architects and laborers worked together and came up with this brilliant piece of architecture together. Over the years, it played host to significant events such as coronations, royal weddings, and national celebrations. Victor Hugo's renowned novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, further contributed to its global fame. But you know how all good things come to an end? Similar is the case of the once majestic Notre Dame. Throughout the years, Notre Dame has faced damage for several reasons. According to the cathedral's website, there was once a point where Notre Dame was in a stage of disrepair and close to the point of demolishing. But Napoleon preserved it when he was crowned emperor within the cathedral in 1804. The stained glass rose window had to be taken down until the end of the war, since the cathedral was seriously threatened during World War II. However, the harm that 2019 would bring was far worse than any of the prior years. A massive fire that destroyed Notre Dame's roof and famous spire in April 2019 also caused significant damage. The world watched in shock as this tragedy took place, prompting an international outpouring of grief and support. French President Emmanuel Macron made a promise to rebuild Notre Dame, emphasizing its integral role in the country's soul, history, and literature. A devastating fire that altered Notre Dame de Paris' iconic appearance permanently occurred on that melancholy evening in April 2019. Flames ignited in the attic at 6:18 p.m., swiftly consuming the original timber beams and intricate craftsmanship. Over the well-known Parisian monument, the ghostly glow of the fire created an odd image. The worst part happened at 7:50 p.m. when the massive spire of Notre Dame, a quiet reminder of centuries of history, succumbed to the ferocious fire. The collapse of this important piece of architecture happened in front of the world, showing the loss of something truly special. It's worth mentioning that the spire, the standout part of Notre Dame's look, wasn't part of the original building in the 12th century. It was added during a restoration in the 19th century, carrying its own historical significance as a symbol of the cathedral's enduring spirit. Watching this cultural icon burn had a deep emotional impact. Images of the cathedral engulfed in flames against the backdrop of the Paris night sky went viral. The people's mutual amazement and grief highlighted the significance Notre Dame held for them on an emotional and cultural level. However, there was some hope despite all of the devastation. The renowned stained glass windows at Notre Dame were spared. These extremely ancient pieces of art, with their elaborate designs, withstood the fire and remained sturdy amid the ashes. In fact, the iconic stained glass rose window also stayed safe throughout this incident. The stained glass windows became a symbol of Notre Dame's ability to endure tough times, offering a bit of hope for its eventual recovery. The thing is, you can fix concrete walls and all the other stuff at this time, but those stained glass windows were not easy to restore, and it was like a sign from the skies that there is something that people can still do about it to fix the architecture. Apart from the spire, the roof also faced significant damage. The upper walls of the cathedral were also destroyed. However, the interior was saved from massive destruction due to the vaulted stone ceiling, which held onto the burning roof as it collapsed. The majority of the religious artifacts and artwork were also promptly taken from the cathedral. Nevertheless, some were completely destroyed and others only had smoke damage. 3 workers were hurt while attempting to salvage anything they could from the city cathedral, despite the fact that no one was killed. However, since the damage had already been done, Emmanuel Macron imposed a 5-year deadline to repair the damage. Now that we're talking about the reconstruction, let's start with the spire itself. Reconstructing Notre Dame's spire was a significant engineering challenge given its historical and non-original nature. While rebuilding the spire, the focus was on keeping it as identical as possible to the one designed in the 19th century. It was difficult for the renowned architect Eugène Viollet-le-Duc to design this first version. This implied that the materials, wood for the roof and stone for other sections, were likewise comparable to those used in the original construction. Not to add, not just everyone who came forward was given the instructions. Rather, it involved the knowledge of main historical monument architects, the advisory committee that oversees significant restoration initiatives in France, and other specialists in historic buildings. At the moment, the removal of the burn scaffolding that surrounded the spire is in process, while the timber framework for the nave and choir is also being prepared with great care for future installation. It will take careful work to remove about 300 tons of melted scaffolding in order to stop additional instability. But the engineers at work used creative fixes, such sophisticated bracing methods, to stabilize the building in the first place, effectively averting collapse hazards. The fire caused damage to the ancient golden rooster that lived for a year at the top of the spire. It was rescued, but it was unusable even so. That means a fresh golden rooster for the spire. This new rooster symbolizes the larger beam of Notre Dame's recovery from the fire. It is fashioned to resemble a phoenix, a symbol of endurance and resurrection. The cathedral vault, specifically the transept crossing, the choir and the nave vaults, are also being repaired using medieval techniques to restore their original form and structure. Now, if we talk about the cross-shaped base, it has already been set in place, and the spire is also installed. So it's safe to say that the process is almost complete. Apart from that, the workers achieved another significant milestone by restoring the grand organ, as it's one of the central pieces of the cathedral's musical heritage. Wind's chests were swapped out, and the organ builders attached them to the console. The grand organ will be able to operate properly by hand thanks to this procedure. Modern structural constraints and historical accuracy had to be carefully balanced while choosing materials for the repair. To assure longevity while upholding the cathedral's architectural integrity, the engineers used a blend of conventional and modern materials. The wood and stone that were used in the building's original construction were derived from the same regions. In addition, this renovation needed to take extra precautions to prevent any more occurrences that might harm the structure in the future. A number of considerations went into choosing the materials for the restoration, including availability, structural soundness, and historical authenticity. It required original roofing materials, but it also required meticulous timber selection to match the size and quality of the original 1,300 trees that were taken over a 10-year period. To add, rebuilding the cathedral is not the only goal of this renovation. More than 170 academics examined and analyzed many facets of the cathedral, such as the construction, sculpture, ornamentation, and civil engineering, necessitating extensive scientific investigation. While on the topic, we must not ignore 3D scanning and modeling incorporated into the restoration process. This new technology played a major role in the restoration of Notre Dame. 3D scanning and modeling helped engineers find accurate solutions to the challenges that blocked their way while working on the cathedral. Using laser scanning technology, a building's 3D model can be rendered in great detail. By doing this to the cathedral, the engineers were able to gather as much information as they could in order to produce a watertight mesh that would be utilized to realistically reconstruct the structure. Rebuilding the stone ribs that originally supported the cathedral's arches was made possible with the aid of this technology, which scanned the entire structure and the stones. Thus far, the specialists' understanding of the damage caused by the 2019 fire to the cathedral has been aided by the use of 3D scanning and modeling technologies. So it's safe to say that with this technology, they have found solutions for all issues related to the restoration. While the structural restoration is in process, the idea is to bring beauty to the areas surrounding the cathedral as well. In order to mitigate the effects of climate change, beautification measures like adding water features and planting trees will be implemented. The research estimates that rebuilding Notre Dame will cost roughly $767 million in total. The good news is that more than 340,000 donors from 150 countries have already contributed more than $900 million. In addition to financial contributions, other nations and organizations have offered assistance in reconstructing the cathedral. On April 15, 2020, Germany came forward and offered to rebuild some of the large celestial windows located far above eye level. And on April 18th, Ubisoft, the French game developer and publisher, also offered to provide about 5,000 hours worth of research about the building structure. Actually, this study was already conducted in order to reconstruct the cathedral in the Assassin's Creed Unity video game from 2014. The French government quickly committed a large sum of money for the renovation after the Notre Dame fire. The restoration of Notre Dame was largely financed by private donations, especially powerful French millionaires and companies. Notable donors included Disney, Apple, L'Oréal, Louis Vuitton, and L'Oréal made large contributions. Every contributor possessed a distinct bond with the cathedral, stemming from cultural admiration, corporate accountability, or personal background. The international community also demonstrated solidarity with the restoration effort, even though France provided the majority of the financial support. Various countries and organizations recognized the global importance of Notre Dame, contributing to the collective effort to preserve this iconic cultural heritage beyond national borders. But that wasn't all. In 2022, about 8 workshops of master glass makers and locksmiths started the process of cleaning and restoring the cathedral's glass windows. Germany's Cologne Cathedral also joined the effort, and they restored 4 stained glass windows. Rebuilding Notre Dame is a big and detailed job, but there's been a lot of progress. As of 2023, about 1,000 workers are working on the project. This includes both on-site and specialized workshops across France. Furthermore, the tall spire has reportedly been reconstructed, which is a critical first step toward making repairs, according to the most recent sources. The government is still in the process of removing the scaffolding, showcasing the front-end repairs, and meticulously repairing the key components, which include vaults, sturdy walls, and eye-catching windows. Despite the possibility of unforeseen issues, the goal is to have everything completed by December 8, 2024. Once more, it's crucial to remember that even though the cathedral intends to reopen for religious services and visitors in December 2024, the renovation won't be finished until 2025. It may take up to 20 years, according to reports, to fully restore it to its former state. Fixing a structure is only one aspect of rebuilding Notre Dame. It all comes down to us choosing to preserve our past and create something truly magnificent once more. As we move forward, Notre Dame demonstrates to us our capacity for strength, creativity, and the ability to create beautiful things with a long lifespan. In summary, restoring Notre Dame involves more than just building work. Sustaining something unique requires fortitude, imagination, and resolve. But wait, there's yet more to this tale. We've got more episodes coming your way. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details, share stories about the people involved, and explore the cool techniques to make this reconstruction happen, so stick around for more. Thanks a bunch for joining us. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, take care and stay curious.